Hi everybody, my name's Matt. Welcome. Thank you for joining us everybody on tonight's Tuesday night's live stream. Hope everyone's had a good Tuesday so far. I am joined by the lovely Joel Gabriel tonight and our fantastic Jessica Bull. Welcome guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. So yeah, thank you so much for being with us, Joel. For those that don't know, Joel is a VR and AR software developer in New South Wales, and I personally am super excited to have him on tonight. I know very little and am very excited to know a bit more. So thank you so much, Joel. Tonight's live stream, by the way, guys, if you have any questions throughout it, please do pop your comments or your questions in Facebook chat or YouTube chat, and we'll do our best to get them answered as well. So thank you everybody in advance, and Jess, I'll pass over to you.
Cool. Thank you so much, Matt. Joel, once again, thank you so much for joining us. So let's get straight into it. So what's your current role right now and where are you working?
Yeah, so my current role right now, I guess technically is a senior software developer, and I work at InSpaceXR. So
Wow.
InSpaceXR is a company that just develops virtual reality, augmented reality software for architects. So basically get to work in a video game engine developing software for architects, which is, yeah, it's awesome.
Wow. And when did you graduate from AIE and what course did you do?
So I graduated from AIE in 2017, and I did the Advanced Diploma of Professional Games Development, specialising in programming. So
Yeah, so you've been out of AIE now for a little while. Is this is InSpace your first job, your first company that you've gone to, or have you done some other jobs since leaving AIE?
So I actually worked as a teacher at AIE while I was a student in my second year, teaching the holiday courses, Introduction to Programming and stuff like that. I also did some contract work on a little physics education game while I was studying as well, which was really fun.
Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so I worked on a project. It was called Ennis's Magnetic Field Trip, I believe. And the concept is to develop a game to teach physics around magnets. So you were basically this little, I think you were an ant just going down a river. It was just like an endless runner type game. And there were, I think there were bugs or beetles on the side holding magnets with north or south to try and pull you in and catch you. And the only input you had was being able to spin a magnet around, and you had to use the opposing pole to propel yourself away or pull yourself towards and then quickly swap it around to kind of just manipulate, and just get as far as you can, basically. So
cool. And how long was that project for?
48 hours. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How did you find out about getting that job?
He actually came into AIE, and I so happened to just sit in the middle with my VR headset and was just like the VR guy of AIE. So anyone that passed through looking for people would always walk past my work. So he actually popped past and introduced himself, and I spoke a bit about what I do, and basically he just wanted to talk more, and we caught up for a coffee, and then he offered me a little it was tight, so he offered me a bit of money to do it in 2 days, and yeah, I agreed, and I even let us come on the weekend to work on it, so that was really good.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
I believe
so
I
was
do
that in
have a
you?
video of that.
Is that the?
It's on my YouTube. I don't believe I shared it.
Oh,
I
bugger.
did
I
a
did get
time
the
lapse.
other. I did the other VR project that you were
Yeah.
working on. That's now on the Unity store, I believe.
Oh, so I did a VR Locomotion plugin because at the
Yeah.
time when I started developing with VR, it's still new, but it was even newer when I started. So you were kind of just stuck to one room experiences, and there was a lot of experimenting around movement. So I developed a plugin that just had a bunch of solutions for movement in virtual reality. So
Yeah, we'll try and get if Matt's just working the back end. Matt, if you're able just to pull up some of the videos that we've got together for Joel's old work. I think it's called Locomotive.
yeah, so this is actually the major work we did. Welcome to Wonderland VR. This is a little time lapse I did. I was programming a card swipe mechanic. We made a puzzle game, and you basically have to find a bunch of clues and then make your way into a theater. And one of the puzzles involved actually finding an access card and physically swiping it. So, yeah, well, it was a lot of fun to work on. So it was a pretty, yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. So this project here, so this was your year 2 project. That like outside of AIE little thing that you got to do with the school, was that in year 1 or year 2?
Year 2.
Year 2. Oh, okay. So you're super busy, but you're super talented, definitely in VR technology. Can you tell us a little bit maybe why you got into this sort of area? Like what sparked your interest in getting into VR and XR?
At first, I think I just saw the first Oculus Rift announcement when I was in high school, and got the chance to try a headset on and actually experience something in VR. Very basic, but I tried a proper desktop headset, and I was just blown away by the possibilities and yeah, where it can be taken with games, and not only games, it can be taken out into other industries like architecture, like what I'm doing now, and yeah, it's some amazing technology. So if you haven't experienced VR, like a proper VR headset experience, it's definitely something you should add to your bucket list because yeah, it's really quite cool. So
awesome. And do you have one at home?
yeah, I do. I've got I ended up buying myself a headset because I wanted to work on it at home, and then using the ones that AIE provided, and I probably have like 3 or 4 now because I got to test on multiple devices to make sure it works across all of them. So
yeah, lucky bugger. Do you play many video games in VR, like games that have come out on VR?
yeah, I used to play a bunch. Not as much anymore. Ashton, my little boy, tends to try and steal the VR headset off me at the age of 2, which is a bit crazy. If I have it out, he just wants to wear it. So that's been stolen. But I used to play a lot of like Job Simulator and Beat Saber and all the kind of more generic VR games that were around. Yeah.
Hopefully you can get the opportunity to play some more games and not just, I guess, code for it.
Yeah, exactly. No, I do occasionally, definitely.
That's good. The video that we're seeing on screen at the moment, so this was the project you did in year 2, and can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, so this was for the we had a topic on advanced game systems, I think. It was a fairly like loose thing. It was just you had to make an advanced system to solve some sort of problem. It could have been an existing problem with a solution, or you just had to make a complex bit of code to solve a problem. So I chose to do locomotion in VR, and how do you manage moving around large environments in virtual reality when you're limited to potentially a room just about as big as the one I'm in now. So I just experimented with things like running on the spot and detecting head bob motion to determine if they were running. So that was really fun to like have like a little zombie shooter game where you can run on the spot and actually get out of breath and kind of a bit of fitness element to it.
That's super cool. Has the technology? I'm guessing that the technology has probably changed a little bit since then, or is it still kind of the same? It has the head bobbing. Is that like built in, or do you still have to code that? Or How does that work?
So there's so many solutions out there now. I was probably one of the first. I made that and then ended up selling that on the asset store, and it did really, really well. For a student, for an assignment to make any money is like amazing.
Well
So
done.
that was good. It's definitely
Yeah.
changed a lot. There's a lot more sophisticated solutions now done by companies that are, yeah, a lot better than what I did, but mine was pretty awesome for the time.
Yeah, awesome. Well done. I definitely remember, walking down the hallway and you're just standing there, like running on the spot and like moving around. I definitely remember when you were a student here building that. I was so impressed.
Mm. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Let's maybe talk a little bit more about your current role. So you're a senior software developer. So you're
Yes,
already a
yeah.
senior and only been out of AIE for a couple of years. Can you tell us a little bit more about
Yeah.
like what you do as a software developer and kind of your
Yeah.
day-to-days and how all that works?
Yeah. So day to day can change day to day. It's quite varied actually. At the start, when I came on as a developer, I was mainly designing VR interactions for the software and implementing a lot of the user interface features. I then moved on to actually some more lower level stuff like developing installers for the application, making sure that the app can update and we can release updates, and yeah, implementing tools in the Unity editor as well, just to make the process of building the application for developers easier. And then as you progress into a senior role, it can also it extends into like planning projects, assessing if it's right for the business, documentation work, onboarding new developers. Yeah, it can vary quite a lot. Sometimes I'm just tech support. Like if there's an investor coming in, I need to set up Justin's laptop. You just hand it over and I'll get it all set up and ready. So yeah, kind of just everything tech, but focused on VR programming. So
Wow, a little bit all-rounded there.
yeah,
Sounds like it sounds like you're always doing random things. But do you like doing that? Like forever changing
yeah,
day to day? Does that, I guess, keep it exciting?
yeah. It's basically in the job description. Like especially with programming and any emerging technology, you can't really remember anything. You're constantly learning and having to learn new technologies to evolve. So there's them odd jobs that you'll do occasionally, but yeah, you've also got the work when a new update comes out for any sort of SDK for Oculus or Vive that you got to be on top of and figure out and make sure you're always on the latest. So it's good, just constantly learning and evolving.
And that would be happening quite a lot, I could imagine, especially with this new technology.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Even like exploring web-based platforms. There's even WebXR now, like web-based virtual reality and augmented reality, which I think eventually is going to change it. Like the accessibility of it's going to blow up as soon as you can do it through the web. So
Wow,
yeah,
how
it's
long do you
really
think that's going to be until we see that?
well, depends because you got to have like streaming technology kind of evolved a bit. Basically, rendering won't happen on the device. Rendering will be processed somewhere else, and really we're limited by internet speeds. So yeah, rendering mostly will be offline in big warehouses, so hardware requirements will slowly start to go away, and all you'll need is access to the internet and a display. Rendering can be done somewhere else. It's just Netflix streaming back, really. It's a nice way to put it.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, I'm kind of scared about XR and VR and where it's going. It's too fast. Slow down, slow down.
The industry's faster than the adoption, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be good. I'm looking forward to like my son will grow up in a world where he might not even use a monitor. He'll just have Apple glasses on and put monitors wherever he wants and be typing here, typing there, working everywhere.
Wow.
So
Is that something that also sparked your interest highly? Is that something that you could just imagine when you were a bit younger? Like this is the world, and you want to be a part of that?
yeah, definitely. It kind of like the ideas blew up as soon as I first saw VR. I was like, you could do this, you could do this. It could be used for training, safety training, especially. Like you can train somebody to fly a helicopter without them hopping in a helicopter. Like that's a lot safer for instructors because then when they get in the helicopter, at least they've had a physical experience with the controls. So there's so much value you can get out of it. And then augmented reality is just the next level where you're projecting the digital world around you. So you won't have TVs on the wall. You'll just have a YouTube window stretched as big as you want. Yeah.
Scary thinking about it.
Yeah, I'm highly optimistic.
Hey Ryan, I'll jump in for a second if that's okay. We've got a nice little viewer question, so I'll just pop that one up on screen. So, yeah, it's definitely not aimed at Jess or I to answer this one. Joel, if you want to take it.
Yeah, it's that's an interesting question actually. You could probably take it from a few angles, like VR and AR as a form of esports, or VR AR as a form of viewing esports. I think viewing esports could be really cool, especially in recent times, and not being able to go to a big stadium, but being able to gather in virtual reality around like a display showing the game and interacting with people around you, like everybody cheering in the crowd in virtual reality, and being able to view that and still get that stadium feeling. I think would be really cool. I believe a few esports have done that. I don't know if they've gone as far as virtual reality yet, but definitely like desktop viewing, being able to jump on and watch together. I think there's definitely room for that there.
One sport that I watch a lot of is the NBA, and for those that don't know, they're currently playing in a little bubble in Orlando, and someone's idea, I have no idea whose, they've got virtual fans because they can't have the actual fans there, so they got virtual fans, and everyone inside the bubble said like it's one of the best additions, that everyone was worried going in like it was just going to be an empty gymnasium and there's going to be no like feel for it, and they included that, and it's worked really, really well. I think the NBA were very impressed on how well it was received, and moving forwards, I think there's definitely going to be some room to grow. Jess, your favourite saying? Watch this space.
Watch this space.
Cool. Good question.
Yeah. Was there any other questions for now?
No other questions for now, but I'll be sure to pop back on if there are. So, guys, ask questions while we've got Joel here.
Yeah, awesome. So that's super interesting to see. Like, if it's the viewers and all the players playing like esports games. I'm interested to see how it goes. I know Burning Man in America. That's they've got a week-long VR Burning Man happening right now. So I wonder how that's going to happen. That's awesome. The technology is way too scary.
I think the drawback at the moment is just all to do with the costs to get into VR at the moment, which is quite quickly going down. There's a lot of VR conferences at the moment as well for stuff like Unity, where they host their Unity conference through like a digital conference. So
and I guess, as you're saying, with it coming like a Netflix version, like so streaming online, that's going to be super helpful in the near future. Yeah,
definitely, because the hardware limitations completely lifted then, because it's being processed somewhere else. It's a long ways away in terms of internet. Sadly, especially in Australia, we do lack a bit there. Probably start to see it in the US and get a bit jealous pretty quickly. Even Google announcing the Google Stadia, which is a console that's completely streams games. So you just need the display and the controller sends the inputs to the server, and the server processes it and then sends it back. So they can play AAA games on any device, your phone, whatever.
Wow. Matt's back.
So pop back in. So we've got a follow-up question. So I'll pop that one up now, and let's continue on the roll with it. So what about as a natural progression to competition for esports, like VR, AR with a mechanical treadmill or a harness in an isolated, safe environment?
So like Ready Player One, if you've seen that movie or read that book.
Yeah, like human enhancement, like getting fitter and stronger through VR, mechanical treadmill and harness. Yeah, that's interesting. That I think like any sort of combat military games, if you start involving like treadmills where they have to hold something, like omnidirectional treadmills, for example, where they can spin around and virtually run on the spot and move through an environment, duck down, hide behind walls. I think there could be like competitive CSGO VR kind of things once that technology evolves. There's definitely a fitness element to that. Yeah, that's quite interesting.
Isn't a bad thing.
No, it's good. Definitely a more physical way of interacting with the world through VR. So yeah, there's a handful that have popped up.
I'll chuck that one up there as well.
Awesome. I've answered that probably.
All right, cool. Thanks for the questions, guys. Keep them coming.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Let's just talk quickly a little bit more about In-Space XR. Like, what happens there? What do you do in a little bit more detail?
So a bunch happens. Like we've got the main thing is our software that we've developed. So originally called RiverFox VR, it was rebranded into just In-Space. So In-Space is a tool that lets architects convert their 3D models into a VR experience in one click, like directly from the environment they work in. So whether they be in SketchUp or Revit, designing your 3D like renovation plans or a new office building development, they can just go up to the menu at the top, click sync, and then open our software, chuck on a VR headset, and actually walk through that 3D model and experience the building. So that's predominantly what we do is around VR visualization for architects. We also have a studio side of the business, which works more on bespoke virtual reality experiences for some of the more bigger clients that we have. So if they want to do like an entire floor, for example, like a pre-modeled experience, not something that's more real time, but something where we get 3D artists involved to actually create that environment, and then that's used to kind of sometimes lease out them office levels as well. We also do stuff with 360 scans, 3D scanning as well. So we'll go around with a special camera and do scans of the environment. So when somebody visits the website, they can actually click through and move through a 3D representation of the actual building. So, yeah.
Are you finding this is a really emerging industry, and is it quite popular?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's definitely an emerging area. I think architects are really starting to see the value of being able to, for one, step inside of their design. Like it's actually amazing to see some of the architects that will hop in and actually notice something that they didn't notice on paper. So they have a 3D model, but then having a VR headset just gives you that extra layer of depth where you can actually lean down, look under a table, peer through gaps, and just be like, oh, I can see the toilet from the living room or something like that. It adds this whole new element, like, oh, this feels really cramped, or this is bigger than I expected. Because although a 3D model gives you a good idea, you don't have that idea of how far away. Yeah, you're not in that. Yeah.
Wow. So I guess you're then supporting and helping the architects in building on their own skills as well with this technology.
Yeah, definitely. Because there's a lot of concepts that they're not familiar with, because we're kind of bridging the gap between gaming technology and software. So we developed the software in Unity, which is a game engine, and a lot of things and kind of advice that we give is how they can optimize, how they model things, certain textures they can use to affect the quality of how it comes into our application. There's a lot of game development concepts that have kind of folded over into architecture that they're thinking about more and more now. So,
I think you found an amazing company to work at, and it's only just the beginning with all this sort of stuff. Well done.
Yeah, we survived and thrived through COVID, so like we're going pretty strong, which is all you can ask for. So I'm very, very lucky in that regard.
Yeah, no, that's super awesome. I'd like to talk just a little bit more about AIE. For those out there that are interested in studying games or film, there is so many different areas that you can go into. This is just one example. Can you tell us how AIE kind of supported you and helped you to get where you are today?
Yeah, so some of the stuff I even said before helped massively. Like access to technology that, for one, some people just can't afford. Like being able to develop with emerging technologies like VR and AR and having them provided for you to learn on is really important. Even like providing after-hour access was pretty awesome for me to just do that work when I didn't have the setup at home. And I actually got work through AIE, like quite a few times actually in year 2. Like I landed myself a job teaching. I got myself a little contract job just from where I sat and from teachers. And then even landing my job at InSpace was because I think Eric used to be an artist teacher there. I think he asked the programming teacher who referred me, which landed me the meeting. and ultimately led to me working here full time in the end. So I get to work my dream every day. So it was a pretty stressful time as well, because I knew I wanted a full-time job, but I didn't have any real reason yet. And then learned that I was going to have a baby while studying and not being in a full-time job and still living at home. That was a bit of pressure, but yeah, AIE definitely helped me through all of that. So it landed me my first interview, which went great. So yeah, still working full-time today.
Oh, that's awesome. And another baby on the way. It's exciting.
Yeah, number 2. Very exciting.
Yay. Can you tell us maybe a little bit more about what the teachers were like, your classmates, maybe a bit more of the vibe of the day-to-days at AIE?
Yeah, well, it was awesome. Like, I didn't even feel like I was going to school, to be honest. Well, for one, like, I was super passionate in what I was learning. Like, one thing with high school is I didn't really do too well in high school, mainly because the subjects were never catered towards what I wanted to learn. But as soon as I got into AIE and was learning something that I was interested in and got to work and like really focus on the skills that I wanted to learn, working to be a game programmer is like the dream. So, and being able to, I went in campus when I studied, and that was awesome. I made a lot of friends from AIE that I still have today. And yeah, so many memories of just going and getting food, even like little things. It was a really fun time.
Oh, that's awesome. I got one more question for you. What advice would you give to a young person looking to get into this sort of field?
One thing I definitely give is just start straight away. Like, before you even look into like courses, like definitely you want to study something to kind of get some formal certification and get a job. But I definitely suggest just going straight to YouTube and just watching a tutorial series and whatever it may be, whether it be 3D modeling, game design, or programming. There's so many resources, and then you can just take that to your interviewers. That'd just help. Definitely just get started straight away. Even start recording yourself making things, which is what I did, which helps with future portfolio and the content you can look back on. It's like not even embarrassing. It's just awesome because you can see personal progression as well. So definitely just start at it, document everything you do. Even start, once you've learned a bit, start sharing your knowledge with others. And yeah, that's how I got started.
Awesome. Passionate from the very beginning you are, Joel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, for those out there, as you said, portfolio. So to get into a place like AIE, it's based on portfolio as entry. So just showcasing a little bit of work that you're passionate in, depending on what course you're going into. So like game programming. If you just start developing your skills, maybe talk to teachers at school if there's any classes or anything that they can support you with, or as Joel said, like jump on YouTube and just get started. But yeah, we do like to see just a little bit of programming work, and just that you understand the basics of programming to go into the advanced diploma course. Or we do have our certificate courses, which there is no prerequisites for that one.
I also did, I think, all of them because I was bored in the holidays and school was offering something I could do in year 11. I remember I just wanted to drop out in year 11 and go study my advanced diploma, but somebody swayed me out of it.
That's all right. You got there. Matt, do we have any questions? Any more questions coming in from YouTube or anything?
No more questions at this stage. But thank you so much for putting those through and getting those answered. There were some good questions tonight. I enjoyed them, so thank you.
Yeah. We've come to the end of the live stream. We do have a couple of events coming up. I'll chuck it over to Matt just to showcase those.
Cool, thank you, Jess. So, yeah, everybody, this is an exciting month here at AIE. We've got a fair bit on. So, to check it out and to register, head to our website, our events here. If we go to Showcase and on the Events tab right here, if we click on that, coming up on the 16th, we've got Information Evening. That's a really nice way for parents, students to come along. We have teachers who talk about what it is like studying at AIE, what they will study, and give a kind of just a nice feel for the student who are interested. Industry Experience Day, coming up on the 30th too. This one's even further in terms of hands-on experience. So each student will be running through a workshop of each of our streams. Not to play favourites, but this one I do see a lot of students just absolutely loving. to get hands-on experience with it gives them that sort of feel like, yep, this is the right place for me. Even students who don't know a lot about it come in, sit down, create a little character, and they're like, oh my god, I want to do more. So really, really nice there. And we've also got coming up next week, we head to workshops here in the tab, Riley Hubbards, who I'm super excited to talk with as well. There we go, sorry. There we go. So if we scroll down here, Riley Hubbards is here in Adelaide. He works with Foxy Games, and he graduated from AIE in 2017, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about games development, and for those who are lucky enough as well, he actually came onto site here at the Adelaide campus and gave a presentation to our students a couple of weeks ago as well, so really excited to have a chat with him again. But yeah, guys, super exciting month, lots happening, so don't miss out.
Happening.
Yeah.
I want to add one more thing that's happening this month is we're actually a part of PAX Global. It is a it's a 9-day, 24-hour free PAX, and it's global. So it's all online. Check it out on Facebook or just PAX online. So yeah, we'll have a booth there. We'll be showcasing some student games, doing a bunch of live streams and a panel talking to some of our alumni who are working at AAA studios and their experience about working at studios like that, and also where they think the future is going with game development. So yeah, do stay tuned. September is a huge month.
Very exciting.
Awesome. But yeah, thank you so much, Joel. It's been really, really nice chatting with you today.
No worries, my pleasure.
And getting some really insightful information and insight on what you do at InSpace and where the VR technology is going.
Yeah, it's no worries. It's my pleasure. I quite enjoyed it actually. It was a lot of fun. I love talking about what I do, so.
Very passionate,
Yeah.
I love it.
Thanks, Joel. I will just jump in for one quick second. We do have a very quick question that I'll just chuck up on screen because it is applicable, as everyone knows. COVID-19 restrictions for campus events. So here in Adelaide specifically, we are pretty lucky. We will not be having that many restrictions. Just don't jump on people. That's probably the main one. But no, of course, we have limited numbers, social distance wherever possible. We'll have hand sanitizers as well, through, easily available for everybody. So,
and we're also running these events online as well. So if you're in Melbourne or you don't wish to come to Sydney or Canberra or Adelaide campus, we will be conducting these online for both events. But there is some limitations for information evening at some of our campuses, which it's only just dedicated to Year 12 students. So make sure if you are Year 12 to jump online to register to save that spot.
yeah, cool. And one final follow-up question. Online, how would you set up a booth?
So I'm guessing you're talking about PAX booth?
Yes, I'd imagine, yeah.
Yeah, so it's with PAX, ReadPop, which is the company that organised PAX. So they've got this huge big setup. It's a big expo hall. You go on, you click on the different areas. So there will be like Ubisoft and Nintendo and all those sort of things where you can actually have the opportunity to go and play part of their game. One good thing is if you usually go to a normal PAX event all over the world, you're waiting like 3-4 hours in line to play a 10-minute gameplay of the upcoming game, but apparently there's like no queues for it. You just need an okay computer, otherwise they have a whole bunch of videos and insider videos and stuff for all the other booths. But yeah, it's all online. Come along to see it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for the question again, guys.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up there. We have gone over time, but once again, thank you so much, Joel, for coming on tonight. It's been a real pleasure to chat to you.
Thank you, Joel. Very appreciated.
All good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Have a good night, everybody. Bye.
Bye.